The Atlanta Braves dropped Game 2 of their series against the Brewers 4-1, setting up a winner-take-all Game 3 tomorrow. Let's talk about it.
This is the Braves Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Atlanta Braves. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into the Braves Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta, where we cover your Atlanta sports teams each and every day. I'm your host, Lindsay Crosby, author of the Braves Today newsletter over at bravestoday.com. You can follow me on social media at Crosby Baseball. He's Jake Mastroianni, host of Locked On Braves. Follow him on social media at shortstopball. And Jake, I don't know what I expected today. Atlanta comes off a really good game on Monday. Chris Sale looks fantastic. Season high in strikeouts. Braves offense, they hit multiple home runs, and they roll over Milwaukee. So today, they lose 4-1. They go, I want to say they only get 4 at-bats with runners in scoring position. They go 1 for 4 and drop what felt like a winnable game against a hittable pitcher in Quinn Priester, who happened to look kind of fantastic tonight.
Yeah, I mean, as far as what we should have expected, I mean, this is probably what we should have expected. I was hopeful that after the first game in this series that they could, get on a roll and keep things going. That's what I'm always hoping for. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a Braves fan. I want to see them get on a roll, and I want to have more exciting podcasts to talk about on here too. But it's this offense right now. You can't get too high or low with them because they're just not very consistent. Like you said, this should have been a very winnable game with the matchup that you had, and this offense just couldn't put it together early on and then did almost nothing late. They had 1 hit in the final 4 innings of this game as a 2-out double by Matt Olson. So just really, didn't take advantage of the opportunities early, didn't take advantage of their leadoff hitter getting 3 hits in this game. And as we talked about yesterday, the guys at the top, they were getting it done, and outside of Acuna, they didn't do anything in this game. So it's just really frustrating. There's just not any consistency with this offense. But like I said, that probably should be the expectation at this point. You just don't know what you're going to get from them each and every day.
Yeah, I mean, I guess kind of eggs on my face for thinking that yesterday could have been a turning point there. Like Quinn Priester, 3.88 ERA entering the day, 4.58 FIP, 3.98 expected ERA. So he's been fine. He's been serviceable. He struck out less than 6 guys per 9 innings. He goes 6 innings today, 7 hits, 1 run, no walks, 7 strikeouts. And I saw it from somebody here in the chat talking about just too many swings and misses. Shout out Lady Braves there for that. When you look at a guy that pitches to contact, right? He's a sinker slider guy. He lets you put the ball in play. He has a great ground ball rate. 13 swings and misses, another 13 called strikes, and Braves hitters for the entire game. Like, we don't even have that thing that people complain about where we say, well, at least they hit the ball hard. Atlanta only got 6 hard hit balls off of Quinn Priester. Off of him, and 7 total. And it just felt like something was missing from outside of Ronald Acuna Jr., that top of the order. We saw Sean Murphy 2 for 4, Eli White 1 for 3, Nick Allen 1 for 2 with a double, scores a run. But again, that Riley, Olsen, Ozuna, Harris, Albies grouping that we gave so much credit to yesterday, they finished with 1 hit, and it's that one you mentioned, the later innings single from Matt Olson. It doesn't matter how good everybody else plays. It doesn't matter what Ronald Acuna Jr. does. If those 5 guys finish with 1 hit, there's just no shot you're going to win that game.
Yeah, you can't have just one of your big 4 at the top, have a good game. He has to have somebody behind him that's able to help. I mean, your leadoff hitter, and I get it, Ronald's not running right now, and that definitely hurts, but it doesn't matter if Riley and Olsen are going to strike out like they did in the top of the 3rd when Ronald got on to lead the inning and both of those guys strike out. They have to be better. I mean, Ronald's doing all he can to help this offense right now and getting on base, but he's got to have some help behind him, and you can't have empty at-bats like that. And it's just, to use your word before you jumped on, it's infuriating. It really, really is, because Ronald has been everything I think you could have hoped for and even more. I tried to temper the expectations for Ronald coming back, and he's been even better than what I thought he could be. Now, he is striking out a little bit more than I would like, but he is getting on base 2 or 3 times a game. And when that happens, he needs to at least be scoring once. And in fact, he was only the only one that drove in a run in this game. And you mentioned it yesterday, that 2-hole, especially when Baldwin's not in the lineup. It feels like, and it's felt like this way for a while, there's just really not that number 2 hitter right now. And Riley, just a really tough night tonight after a good game the night before.
Yeah.
But again,
he had 3 hits yesterday.
Yeah. It speaks to that inconsistency with those guys. And I think kind of bringing it all back, that the struggle with me tonight was you were facing a guy in Quinn Priester, a 15% strikeout rate coming in, and he strikes out 7 batters in 6 innings. You can't have that. And like I said, especially from your big guys there at the top of the order, Riley striking out 3 times, Olsen once, Michael Harris, who's batting 5th in the order, strikes out twice. It just can't have it. Can't have it like that, especially when, again, Ronald's doing all he can at the top and you're not back.
Mm-hmm. And I do think that Ronald, like the only time Ronald comes to bat with a guy on base, it's after the Nick Allen double, and he immediately drives him in. And I know that like the problem here is, we talked about we don't have a 2-hole hitter. It almost feels like Ronald at leadoff is a little bit wasted when the bottom of the order is not getting on, but you can't move him out of the leadoff spot because 1, he wants to do it, and 2, there's nobody else to put there. Part of me wonders when Jurickson Profar comes back, because he's eligible. I think the first game after he can be activated is like July 1st. Him going into the 2 spot, does that, I guess, hopefully just give us the ability to have somebody who can put a ball into play and get him in? Because I do feel like the issue tonight, when you look at this, Riley strikes out 3 times. Harris strikes out twice. Albee strikes out 3 times. He actually lost his on-base streak today. Matt Olson only once, Ozuna none, but you just don't have a situation where those guys are getting advanced, or they're putting the ball in play enough for Ronald to advance since he's not running.
Yeah, and I mean, the running part is key, right? I mean, that's what makes Ronald so special in that leadoff spot, is the fact that he is getting on a lot, but he's also can use that speed to help those guys out. But I mean, those are guys that you're hoping to hit those home runs. Like you said, he hit 3 home runs the night before. I mean, that is the recipe for this offense, and particularly for those 3 guys, and Riley and Olsen and Ozuna. You're hoping that at least one of them, is going to go deep on a given night, and that Ronald's going to be on base for that. And they're just not giving you got 1 extra base hit, and again, it was from Olsen, a 2-out double later in the game. They just got to give you more than that. You got to have more power than that. And you did get 3 doubles in this one, but you didn't get the home runs. And again, some of those, other than the Nick Allen one, really were kind of 2-out extra base hits, not really beginning a rally or anything like that. It's just, again, it's frustrating knowing what this offense could be, seeing what they can be on Monday, and then following it up with just a poor performance like this. Look, they out hit the Brewers in this game 8-6. I mean, they had plenty of base runners, especially early on, but just weren't able to find, be able to manufacture or find that home run that they're always looking for. And then I just really hated the at-bats late. I mean, you didn't put any pressure on them at the end of the game either. So it's just, you didn't have a complete game from the offense tonight.
Yeah, that 9th inning from Michael Harris, he takes a called strike in the zone. I believe he swings at a knuckle curve in the dirt. He fouls off a fastball above the zone, and then he ends up swinging at another knuckle curve in the zone, or in the dirt, to strike out. Sorry. And then the Ozzie at bat, he takes all 3 strikes or called strikes. 2 of them are center cut down the middle of the plate. Bat never comes off his. I actually don't think he swung once in 6 pitches. And it's just like, 9th inning, you're losing. You've got to be more aggressive than that. He gave you 3 pitches in the zone, and you looked at all 3 of them. And that's been one of the issues for the team this year. I think the most frustrating thing, last thing I'll say about the offense here, is Milwaukee had opportunities to run the score up and didn't do it. Like, they went 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. They only had 6 hits. 3 of them are for extra bases. They got 4 runs out of it. 3 of them came on the home runs. They could have done a lot more, and they weren't really willing to press the issue and give, they let you stay in this game, and you just never really showed the fight late to try to get back into it. And I think I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that was kind of my point too. The pitching did enough to keep you in the game in those last innings. You just didn't really do enough to stay in the game.
Yeah. All right, in just a second, let's talk about that pitching, because saw some stuff out of Grant Holmes today. We saw the Braves debut of Jose Ruiz. We'll talk about all that next, right here on the Braves Postcast. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Very easy to use website, fantastic for DIYers. It's packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. If you need help with an order, Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. If you're a trade pro looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage, and now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM. Start ordering your plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, everybody can use promo code SH5 for 5% off your order. That's at supplyhouse.com. And if you ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go between dining out, online shopping, entertainment, baseball tickets, food at baseball games, wonderful pistachios, adult beverages at baseball games. Like, it's easy to lose track of your money. And that's where Monarch Money comes in. It's your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Because Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. No, it is a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, your investments, and spending in one place. So you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. When I started using Monarch, I was surprised just how much I was spending on baseball bobbleheads. Like, now I budget smarter and just know how much I'm sacrificing from other things to get more bobbleheads. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. Okay, Jake, so Grant Holmes in this one, 5 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts. Does give up the 2 home runs. Jackson Churio gets him in the 3rd for a 2-run shot. And then Jake Bauers gets him in the 6th before he comes out of the game, getting replaced by Aaron Bummer. It was a leadoff home run there. I thought that Grant Holmes pitched okay. To your point, he kept you in the game. We've seen him be a little more efficient than this. I want to say he finished right around 100 pitches, only 61 strikes. Felt like he wasn't around the zone as much as usual, but this is just kind of more of what we expect from Grant Holmes. He's still not throwing the changeup a ton. He's getting a lot of it's the four-seam sliders, the main combo. He threw more curveballs than I'm used to seeing, I think, was all the lefties they had in the lineup. But overall, another good outing for Grant Holmes. I feel like he's just kind of settled in as a really solid number 4, number 5.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he is. And, certainly not his best outing, but an outing that keeps you in the ball game and at least should give an offense a chance. But 20 whiffs in this game for Grant Holmes is just kind of a wild number there. 7 of 6 on 16 swings on the four-seam fastball. So that's pretty crazy number. 18 called strikes to go along with that too. Really just the home runs, 3 walks really didn't help either, but the home runs definitely hurt him in this one. And like you said, just not quite as efficient. But again, not a terrible start from Grant Holmes, not the best that we've seen from him, but that's kind of what you get with a 3rd, 4th starter. So ultimately, I think he did his job in this one.
Yeah. Aaron Bummer comes in, makes it through the rest of the 6th, comes back out for the 7th. That's that thing we've been talking about Snit likes to do, trying to get a little bit of extra stuff there. Jose Ruiz makes his Braves debut. I have to be honest, probably the first time I've really sat and watched Jose Ruiz with more interest than just, I hope the Braves hit this guy when he's pitching for Philly. I actually thought for Jose Ruiz, the fastball's in the zone enough. Everything else is he's trying to get chase with. The curveball, he threw 6 of those. I think 2 were in the zone. The changeup, he threw 3 of them. I think one was in the zone. The goal here is just trying to get a little bit of chase. I thought he pitched fine. I think maybe it's worth not having Scott Blewett. I don't know if it is, but I mean, end of the day, again, the Braves bullpen wasn't the problem here. I know it wasn't a high leverage situation, but it feels like everything you could possibly want from this pitching staff, for the most part, you got. Dylan Dodd continues to look fantastic. I know he hasn't gotten high leverage innings yet, and he's probably not going to, but I've continued to be impressed with what Dylan Dodd's done since he's become a reliever. He's started using that cutter a ton. He just looks like a different kind of guy.
Yeah, he does. I talked about it a lot. You know, he could become a big name in this bullpen after his first outing of the year at Gwinnett. He's really been lights out ever since that, both at Gwinnett and his couple of outings here with the Braves, as you mentioned, though. No high leverage situations yet, but I think he's going to continue to creep up there and get some of those chances. I mean, who else are you really going to go to in the bullpen at this point? So we'll see if they do give him that opportunity. For Ruiz, I mean, for the situation, I thought it was great. I mean, you get the bases loaded walk to William Contreras. That might have been the smartest move in the world. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want to
give him something to hit.
Loaded. Yeah, and you end up getting out of that, only giving up the one run. You get a couple of strikeouts. So I thought he did fantastic. You look at that William Contreras bat, it's really odd because the first three are nowhere near, and then number 4 is a clear outlier because it's right down the middle. I think that was a mistake. But either way, you do walk in that run, but you managed to get out of that. So we'll see. Again, I'm not sitting here saying I saw anything particularly special in this. When he threw 9 four-seam fastballs and none of them were called strikes, I don't know if that is something you can get away with too often, but either way, like you said, the bullpen did fine in this one. I'm a little excited about Dylan Dodd with what he's done. Could he become a big part of this bullpen? Again, he's been good in his appearances here early on, but love to see him get some more higher leverage chances.
Yeah. In Ruiz's defense, the 3 in the zone that he throws to Jackson Chourio, 1's a whiff and 2 are fouled off. So, you know, it's Chourio was attacking those. They were in the zone. They would have been called had he not swung. And he only ended up, I want to say the final one. Well, no, sorry. 2. For the fastballs, he threw 3 in the zone to Chourio. 1 was a whiff. And then the final whiff came on a curveball, which was actually top of the zone. Odd place to leave a curveball, but it absolutely worked out in this situation. Yeah. I wouldn't recommend doing that all the time, but I think it worked out here. Okay, so tomorrow in the finale, Spencer Schwellenbach versus Chad Patrick. Patrick's an extreme fly ball pitcher. He throws a ton of fastballs. I mean, most of what he does, he's throwing all 3. He has a sinker, a 4-seamer, and a cutter. I feel like those kind of guys, that's where the Braves have an opportunity to make something happen. Guys who are going to let you put the ball in play. They're going to let you put the ball in the air. Feel like you have, if you can do it, you have the opportunity to potentially see some offense with Spencer Schwellenbach on the mound. And we're hoping for a good start from him. Given what we've seen the last 2 days in the offense, what expectations do you have for game 3? Because I don't know where I am right now with, do I expect the offense to do something or do I not?
Yeah, kind of like we started out the show talking about. I don't know. It's you might as well label the Braves offense as day to day, because that's what it feels like. You just don't know what you're going to get day to day. Now the optimistic, side of me says, as you just mentioned, a fly ball pitcher, a team that hits the home runs in a pretty hitter friendly ballpark. So it feels like a good opportunity for the Atlanta Braves, and you got Schwellenbach on the other side. So, look, the Braves got a good chance to win this series, and at the end of the day, the Brewers are playing good coming in. You do that. I think you feel pretty good about it. But this was definitely a game tonight that you feel like you had a chance to win, and the offense just didn't do enough for you once again.
Absolutely. So, all right, again, Braves 4-1 losses to the Milwaukee Brewers, ties the series at 1. Game 3 tomorrow, 2:10 p.m. Eastern. We will be here with you with a postcast when that game ends. I'm ballparking around 5 o'clock Eastern, but stay tuned for that. For Jake Mastroianni, I'm Lindsay Crosby. This has been the Braves Postcast.